Hello and welcome to Football Encyclopedia. This is the home of global football. You heard. My name is Alexander Ojimba and the topic for today is Danny Welbeck, who plays for Brighton FC in England, Premier League, should be in England's starting 11. I've got a picture of Danny Welbeck there. So that's a picture of Danny Welbeck. He's played for England before. So playing for England is nothing new for Danny Welbeck, but I'm just reiterating that Danny Welbeck should be called back into the Three Lions, England, first team, it's starting 11, not even the squad, starting 11. And obviously the latest manager of England currently is Thomas Tuchel. So as far as I'm concerned, Thomas Tuchel should do the right thing and reinstate Danny Welbeck into England's first team 11 that's going to play in this up and coming World Cup in America. Obviously, Thomas Tuchel has got a lot of strikers to pick from in the Premier League. But I suppose Danny Welbeck and Harry Kane and Danny Welbeck should be Thomas Tuchel's first choice strikers. I think I got a picture of Harry Kane somewhere. Harry Kane, as far as I'm concerned, and Danny Welbeck should be England's first choice strikers in this 2026 World Cup that is going to take place in America. Harry Kane obviously is a first choice for England. England's highest goal scorer of all time. But he can't lead the line all by himself. And that's why the theme for today is Danny Welbeck. Danny Welbeck should be in England's starting 11 for the 2026 World Cup. About, I'll say, 8 years or 10 years ago, I can't really remember, I went to go and watch England versus Nigeria at Wembley Stadium. I was there in the crowd, wishing I was even playing myself. But that's a different story altogether. Yeah, that was an interesting game because England had players like, what's that guy's name again? Eric Dyer. He was playing for England on the day against Nigeria. England had players like Dele Alli playing for them on the day against Nigeria 8 to 10 years ago. It was a friendly and Dele Alli bossed and controlled the midfield. No one could get the ball off of this man. 20-yard passes, accuracy, control. He had it all. And that was England versus Nigeria about 8 to 10 years ago. I was there. England had players like Dele Alli. I just showed you his picture. England had players like Marcus Rashford, who I think also should be in this England's latest team for the World Cup. He was at Wembley that day, 8 to 10 years ago, doing his stuff. A very good player, dangerous striker against Nigeria at Wembley. On the day as well, England had players like Harry Kane, who I think also should be going to this World Cup in June 2026. I wouldn't even be surprised if Harry Kane becomes the highest goal scorer in the World Cup again. On the day at Wembley 8 to 10 years ago, England had Kyle Walker, who wouldn't be going to this World Cup in 2026 in America. But at the time, to be honest with you, Kyle Walker was one of the best defenders in the world. On the day at Wembley, 8 to 10 years ago, England had Raheem Sterling, who I reckoned was the best player on the pitch that day. It was a joy to watch Raheem Sterling and his quickness and his speed. He played well for England that day as well. Nigeria on the day also, they had players like, what's that young man's name again? Yeah, they had players like Alex Iwobi. He was new to the Nigerian national team at the time. Yeah, so Alex Iwobi played on the day. They played him on the right wing. He was good at keeping the ball, possession, not losing the ball, passing it around. Looked fit, strong, good professional on the day. Nigeria also had players like Victor Moses, another dangerous player that's got good control and great ball delivery. I was watching Moses closely that day, and I could see that he's a talented player. Not afraid to get the ball, attacking minded. So that was England versus Nigeria. Can't remember if it was 8 years or 10 years ago. Nigeria also had on show, I think he came on as a substitute that day, Kelechi Iheanacho. He was there that day. Good striker, good eye for goal. It was a tough game, Nigeria versus England. I think England ended up winning 2-1 on the night. Nigeria also had players like Ekong, the captain. He played very well, but Raheem Sterling gave him a tough day. But I feel like Ekong controlled the game. He was always pushing his team forward, a great centre-back for Nigeria. And Nigeria also had this player called Odion Igalo, striker. So he always wants to score goals, looking dangerous in the box. So that was Nigeria versus England at Wembley, and I was there. It was a great experience for me as an individual. And I say it again, England won that game 2-1. Raheem Sterling was the best player on the pitch. Harry Kane had a great eye for goal. But what I'm going with this message is, on the day that England played against Nigeria at Wembley 8 years ago, or 10 years ago in that friendly, the whole game changed when Danny Welbeck came on. I was surprised. When Danny Welbeck came on that day, Man, I could not believe what I was seeing. This man had energy. He took over the whole game. He took the game by the scruff of the neck. Man, I've never seen a player like this in my life that is so dangerous, man. And is great at running into the box. Never stops running. Full of life. The whole game changed. The atmosphere changed when Danny Welbeck came on. He was the most dangerous player and the most dangerous attacker on the pitch that day. Danny Welbeck was full of energy. He was full of speed. To be honest with you, I got my tickets worth, money's worth, from the performance of Danny Welbeck that day. I learned so much myself. Wow. Danny Welbeck was dangerous. He's just running straight in towards the goal. He's not going to the left. He's not going to the right. He wants the ball. He's going directly to the box. Danny Welbeck is a beast of a footballer. And what surprised me the most was I never knew Danny Welbeck was that good until I saw him live. Man, this man changed my perspective and the way I looked at England and the way I looked at him as a footballer. He showed me what was possible. Danny Welbeck was very positive and direct and lively. He's electric. To be honest with you, that performance from Danny Welbeck against Nigeria at Wembley, it was a great performance indeed. It was a frightening performance from Danny Welbeck. Like I said, Danny Welbeck is always hungry for goals. He's a beast. He likes to score goals. And to be honest with you, the world don't really know how good this man is. But I saw it live and, man, I was surprised. That performance from Danny Welbeck was scary. I think Danny Welbeck was at his peak in that game. Danny Welbeck was that player that Nigeria could not contain because of his speed and energy and directness. On the day, Nigeria couldn't contain him. I mean, England had strikers like Rashford, Kane, Sterling. But the most explosive, that's the word I was looking for, explosive. The most energetic, dangerous, and explosive on the night was Danny Welbeck. It was him. Respect to Danny Welbeck for that performance. So that's why the title for today is Danny Welbeck should be in England's World Cup starting 11, 2026. World Cup team. Tuchel. I called him again. Thomas Tuchel. Is that his name? Tuchel, the England manager, should not hesitate to pick Danny Welbeck. He shouldn't hesitate to pick Danny Welbeck up front with Harry Kane. Because Welbeck would make the difference for England at the 2026 World Cup. I mean, think about it. I mean, you think about it, yeah? Think about this. Raheem Sterling. You think about it, yeah? Raheem Sterling doesn't play for England no more. I don't know what happened to him, but he was a great England player with a lot of caps. He doesn't play for England no more. But Danny Welbeck has got the experience. And not only has he got the experience, Danny Welbeck also has got better as a striker. So it's like where Sterling left off, Welbeck even became better. Danny Welbeck is England's highest goal scorer in the Premier League in 2026 so far. So Tuchel has to take Danny Welbeck to the World Cup in America 2026 for England. England currently don't have better strikers than Danny Welbeck and Harry Kane. Experience counts. And this is where Danny Welbeck comes into the picture. He's got experience, loads of experience. And this is the reason why Danny Welbeck should be in England's World Cup starting 11. You've been watching the Football Encyclopedia. This is the home of global football. I'm glad that you watched. And I'm also glad that you understood the reason why I'm saying that Danny Welbeck should be included in the England's World Cup starting 11, not even squad, starting 11. That's my point. Thanks for watching. My name is Alexander Ojimba. You heard